Today, I'm going to share 15 life lessons with you that I have learned over the past year and that helped me grow in my career, in my financial life, and also as a person. But first, if you're new here, hi, I'm Katja. I'm a Berlin-based professional photographer and YouTube creator, and on this channel, I'm sharing everything that I learned with you. The first life lesson that I have brought you today comes from a book that I've read over the past year, and that is Feel Good Productivity from Ali Abdaal. And the biggest lesson that I have taken away from that book is to change your mindset from I have to I choose to. Think about how many times per day you say to yourself, I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to make some food, I have to do my chores, I have to do some work, I have to go work out. So all day long, we're basically feeling like we're forcing ourselves to do all these things. But the truth of the matter is, we are choosing most things in our lives, or we have at some point made a choice to do those things. So basically, from switching the phrase in your head from I have to I choose to, you are giving yourself back the power and you're switching your mindset to put you back in the seat, put you back in control, and everything feels lighter and feels like it is your choice. And there's not like a random person that is forcing you to do all of those things that are basically your life. The second life lesson is to listen to people who have already achieved your goal. This is a life lesson that is a little bit hard to swallow, but basically we often talk to people. It could be our family, it could be our friends, just people in our lives. And we speak about our goals, and then those people, because they want to be helpful, they give us some advice. But oftentimes that advice is not really going to get you to where you want to go. And that is because those people haven't achieved the exact same goals that you are after. Let's take, for example, my goals. My goals are to build up a photography career and also to become better as a creator and a YouTuber. So I have to listen to people who have already gone down that path and achieved what I'm trying to achieve. And to be honest, most of the people in my life haven't really achieved any of those three things. They're working a 9-to-5, or they're just in a different career, and they don't really have any experience with YouTube. So I turn to books, to audiobooks, to other YouTube channels, and occasionally I meet people in my life who have achieved those things, and then I ask those people for advice. The next life lesson is that everything is figure-outable. You might have heard the saying before. It was coined by Marie Forleo. She also has a YouTube channel, and she's an entrepreneurship and a life coach. And basically, what this helps with is to remind yourself that not knowing how to do things is not an excuse to not do them. Because we live in the age of the internet, of ChatGPT. Information is so easily accessible for a lot of people. And if you're watching this, you have like all the information accessible to you. So we can always learn, test, try, fail, and fail again and do it better next time. Honestly, I would say most people don't know how to do most things at first. But what sets people apart is that some people take action and learn how to do these things and how to achieve what they want to achieve. And the other people just sit back and say, I don't know how to do this, so I'm not going to do it. It's too hard. The next lesson is a financial one, and that is to pay yourself first. Pay yourself basically only means that if you get a salary or if you get paid, say by your clients, that you put away a portion of that money into a savings account immediately. And it doesn't matter whether you just save it or you then invest that money. It just means that before you pay all your other expenses, you have put away a portion of that money to pay yourself first and pay your future you. The easiest way that I have found to do this is to automatize this. So for me to have a fixed amount that goes into a savings account at the beginning of every month. That way I don't have to think about it again. I know that I'm prioritizing my own financial well-being and that I'm taking care basically of myself first before I'm paying any other stuff in my life. And another great lesson about money comes from the book I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi. And that is that money is a tool, so use it that way. Basically what I'm taking from that is that you shouldn't overvalue money and like glorify it, but you should also not undervalue money and say, oh, money doesn't matter, it's only like love and air and well-being. I don't think both of these statements are true. Money is a tool for us. Money should get you to where you want to go. It should provide the necessities that you need in life. It could be a tool to give you a sense of security. It could be a tool to help others, to help yourself. It could be a tool to enjoy the things in life that you want to enjoy and to experience the things that we want to experience. It shouldn't be the end goal, and we shouldn't be hyper focused on money. But we should also not chug it aside and say that it's not important, because obviously everyday life tells us that it is important, because without money, our life doesn't really function in the society that we live in. So I also have to remind myself that it is a tool and that I should use it for the things that are important to me, and that I shouldn't chase it just to chase it. The next lesson is kind of a personal one, but that I want a lot more people to know about, and that is that applications are always worth it. I have applied to many things in my life. I have applied to get into schools. I have applied to get jobs. I have applied to get into Oxford University. I have applied for photo prizes and contests. I have applied to grants, and I have had a lot of applications that were successful, but I've also had a lot of applications that were unsuccessful. But what I've taken away from all of this process of applying to things is that it's always worth it, whether you get the thing or you don't get the thing. And that is because the process of applying itself is helpful to you. You mostly learn new things about yourself by writing down a cover letter. You create more self-awareness. You learn how to structure things. You learn how to communicate things to others who don't know you. You learn how to present, how to craft, how to curate things. And that in itself, this process will already be worth it, whether you get the thing or you don't get it. Before I share my next point, if you're getting some value from this video, I would really appreciate it if you could hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos just like this one. Thanks so much. Lesson number 7 that I learned is that there is such a thing as the spotlight effect. The spotlight effect is a psychological phenomenon that every one of us has. And it basically means that we're walking around through the world kind of imagining that there is a spotlight put on us. So we basically tend to think that people tend to look at us. What are we doing? They think about us. They judge us. They observe us, right? But the truth of the matter is nobody really cares as much as you think they do, because everybody else has a spotlight on them. So they think about themselves way more than they think about you. And they judge themselves way more than they judge you. So realizing this can provide you with freedom, because oftentimes we hold ourselves back and we don't do things that we want to do because we think that people will talk about us, think badly about us, judge us. And, some people might, because people are judgmental, but most people will not care. They will not give a, what about us. So this can give us permission to just free ourselves off of those limitations and just do our thing, no matter what people will think about us. And most people just won't think about us. The next lesson is to always show your work. And this is the overall takeaway from Austin Kleon's book, Show Your Work. That applies to all the contexts that you can imagine. Whether you are working as an employee in a 9-to-5, or you're self-employed, or you have your own business, you need to be putting things out there into the world and showing people what you are doing and what you're working on so they can appreciate what you're doing. They can give you a raise. They can look at your work and figure out if they want to maybe hire you for something that they want to do, or they can simply get inspired and do their own work from looking at your work. The way that I share my work is on my Instagram channel, where I show my photography work. I also put my work out there on LinkedIn to showcase what I can do sort of in the business world. And of course, I'm also showing some of my work and sharing my thoughts publicly on this YouTube channel. Lesson number 9 that I want to share is that if people talk badly about other people to you, they most likely will talk badly about you. And this lesson kind of has two sides to it. It is a learning that I have made for myself, that sometimes I have talked badly about people, and it's never a good look. Sometimes you are frustrated with people and you want to vent, but you have to really be picky, kind of like who you share this kind of stuff with, whether it's worthwhile like talking badly about people at all, because basically it just reflects negatively upon yourself. And the other part of that lesson is that if I meet people who talk badly about other people, it could be like their ex-partners, it could be their family, it could be their friends even, or people at work, then it immediately makes me wary of like whether they might be talking in the same way about me to other people. So the lesson is to stay away from those people and to not be that person yourself. And I'm not perfect. We're all not perfect in this. And I definitely need to improve on this as well. Lesson number 10 is that life gets easier when you are grateful. And actually, this is not just a lesson. This is a technique that I've kind of implemented over the past few years. And that is like a gratitude hack, basically. Whenever I feel stuck or I feel down about things, I don't feel good enough, I don't feel like I'm achieving the things that I want to achieve, I'm not like getting there fast enough, I kind of sit down and I make a list with things that I'm grateful for, that I have achieved and that are working out in my life over the past week, over the past day, over the past month, or even the past year. And just by shifting the focus from what's not working to what is working and what is good in your life and what is something that you can be thankful for and grateful for, will in turn shift your emotions and make you feel better. And everything that you will attempt to do will automatically also feel a bit easier and you feel lighter and a weight kind of drops from your shoulders. The next one is such a good life lesson and one that I need to keep learning and that I keep learning, and that is that everything takes longer and everything is more expensive than you think. And this is a lesson that I have taken from Alex Hormozy. And it's super true that as people, we tend to be super impatient and we have this timeline in our head of like how quickly things will work out for us. And we set a goal and we want to have achieved it like yesterday. But this is usually not how things pan out. And by reminding ourselves that things take usually more time than we think and they're more expensive than we think, and we need to put more effort in, more work in than we originally thought. And this can make it a little bit easier, because when we constantly feel like we're not getting there fast enough, and we basically just frustrate ourselves with that. But if we think, oh, it's normal, it just always takes longer than we think and we need to spend more money than we think, then we kind of become more accepting of the process and normalize the process, and that good things usually take time and they take us to develop the skills that we need, and maybe in the end we can even appreciate them more because of the journey that has taken us there. If we would get things just like that, then maybe they wouldn't be as special. The next lesson is to have an emergency fund of at least 3 to 6 months if you are an employee, and 6 to 12 months of living expenses if you are self-employed or you have a business. And I would suggest to use the technique of pay yourself first to actually get there. And if you're not there yet, it's not a problem, but it's just something that you can get started on, because it's so worthwhile to have this kind of saving cushion, because what it gives you freedom. It also gives you like permission to play around, to take some risks in your career or in your side hustle, It just takes a bit of the stress of the edge away, and you can enjoy everything else a little bit more by having that like security and peace of mind. Another lesson that is so big is to do things before you are ready, because the truth of the matter is we never feel ready to do really important big things because they are scary, because they're daunting. So we will never be fully ready because we haven't really done them before. So you can only be ready for things that you have experienced before. So whatever it is that you don't feel ready for. For me, it was like starting a YouTube channel. It was building my own photography business. It was taking my personal artistic work and applying for things like grants and contests. It was things over the past year, like going on a podcast. I wasn't really ready for any of those things, but I did them anyway because you become ready by doing them. The next lesson I took away from the book, Never Split the Difference. And it is a book about negotiation. And the lesson that I took away from it is that negotiation is a normal part of life. Think about it. We tend to negotiate with our partners. We tend to negotiate with children if we have them, or children tend to negotiate a lot with their parents. And of course, especially in business, there is a lot of negotiations happening every day in everything. And we can choose to see that as something annoying, as something that we're bad at. Like negotiating your salary, for example. I'm just bad at negotiating. How often have you said that to yourself? But if we accept that negotiation is just a normal part of life, it can empower us to get better at negotiating. Negotiation is actually a skill that you can learn and improve on. And I would recommend reading the book Never Split the Difference, or the book Getting to Yes, to learn some basic techniques of how you can improve your negotiation skills, because to be honest, it will help you with everything. And the next lesson is another one that I personally also need to be learning over and over and over again and remind myself every single day, and that is done is better than perfect. We get so much in our heads about doing things right and doing them well and doing them perfectly. But honestly, perfection doesn't really exist. And oftentimes those high bars that we set for ourselves in our minds are the same things that are holding us back from doing the things and finishing the things at all. So whenever you find yourself spending too much time on a single task, or never finishing a draft of, I don't know, an application or an essay or a piece of work, remind yourself done is better than perfect, and just get it over with, get it done, and you will feel so much better than staying in this constant loop of it's not good enough, I haven't done my best yet. You don't always have to do your best. Sometimes you just have to get it done. So I hope these lessons were helpful for you, and you might consider watching this video next on the channel, and subscribe if you want more content just like this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.